All right, we go to China now. There's been a natural disaster there.
If it is your first time seeing my video, my name is Duke in China. Welcome to my platform. I want to talk about my journey of changing my perspective on China. I sincerely think it is an important topic to discuss, especially in today's world where we are being bombarded with information and misinformation about different cultures. So please don't forget to subscribe and be part of the team. It's free of charge. Growing up, I had a pretty skewed view of China. In my mind, it was a communist country with no freedom of speech and a place where the government controlled every aspect of people's lives. I thought it was a country that was stuck in the past with ancient traditions and customs that were holding it back from progressing. I also thought the food was weird and limited, and the language was difficult to learn. These were just a few of the many preconceived notions I had about China, and I'm very sure many of you can relate. I think part of the reason that I had these stereotypes was because of the limited exposure that I had to Chinese culture while growing up. In schools, we didn't learn much about China beyond the basics of Mao Zedong and the Great Wall. The media didn't help either, often portraying China as a mysterious and oppressive country. And let's be real, who wouldn't be influenced by the negative aspects, the negative stereotypes perpetuated by Hollywood movies and TV shows? You only see China on TV when there's an earthquake or flood. You get to see China on TV when Jackie Chan is fighting in some tiny village. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized how unfair it was to make assumptions about an entire country and its people based on limited information. It wasn't until I decided to visit China, but yet I told myself I'm going to visit China just for a year. When I arrived in China, all misconceptions began to fall apart. My first trip completely blew my mind and challenged everything I thought I knew about China. From the stunning skyscrapers of Shanghai to the beautiful gardens of Suzhou, the Great Wall of Beijing, and the stunning beaches of Qingdao, every experience was a surprise. I now realize just how wrong I had been about China. I started doing my research and talking to Chinese people. I began to see the country in a different light. I began reading books about Chinese culture, and I was amazed by the friendliness of the Chinese people and the richness of everything in China. I learned about the country's vibrant cities, its stunning landscapes, and incredible economic growth. I also started learning the language, and I was blown away by the beauty of the language. But what struck me hard was the road network, the amazing infrastructure, the food. I can now gladly say one of my favorite foods is dumplings. I also started watching documentaries and videos about China, and I was struck by the diversity of the country. I learned about different regions, different dialects, and different customs. The more I learned, the more I realized how much I have been missing out on. Most people abroad might be saying China has paid actors to make the country look good. But unfortunately, it is wrong. Almost everyone that comes to China has something good to say about this country. There are still people in the West and in Africa who has the wrong narratives about China. As these people continue to exist, I'm not going to stop making videos like this one. Some people say China is a surveillance state. I agree. But how is that bad? Do you know how it feels as a girl walking home late at night and knowing that you can be harassed by anyone? Do you know the feeling of leaving your wallet on the table in a restaurant while you go to the toilet, knowing fully well that you will still find it when you get back? Do you know the feeling of excitement when you know your new car can't be stolen while you are having lunch at a friend's place? With all of this, do you still think having many cameras and surveillance equipment is a bad thing? I mean, why is China the safest place in the world? It is because of things like this. Looking back, I'm grateful for the journey that I've been on. Living in China has been an eye opening experience. I mean, this has taught me to be more open minded and to always question my assumptions. And I hope by sharing my story, it can equally encourage you to do the same. Thanks for watching. And if you have any experiences or thoughts about cultural perspectives, please share them in the comment section below. If you want to learn more about the importance of speaking Chinese language and how it can be beneficial in China and abroad, please check on my other video on how Chinese university boys were shocked when I finally spoke Chinese. Until then, ciao.